going to get these trade ideas and be able to generate some money for yourself, as opposed to the game, which is just trying to take money from you. So if you're not rich, stop wasting time watching the Netflix and watching the sports and be, oh, this team won and this team won. Guess what? You lost. All right. So let's make this about you. 2024, less distractions, more focus. Once you get your goals, splurge. Once you get your goals, go to the games. Get a front row seat. Do what you want to do. Right now, I get it. It's a couple hours, whatever it is, but I'm talking about the whole festivities. I'm talking about you got the people over. I'm talking about you got the drinks. I'm talking about you got the fatty foods. So you're telling me that if you put a bunch of grease and food in your body, the trash food in your body, you're not going to wake up just not with the same energy? You're going to tell me that after 15 of those Bud Lights that y'all drinking, not y'all, I mean, not dude. Just in case anybody's watching this later. Just the 15 Bud Lights that y'all are drinking is going to make you more productive on the charts this coming week. Right? I mean, it might. Who knows? What I'm here to tell you all is what I did to get to a very successful place was put aside a lot of the distractions for an extended period of time. And what you'll realize is that all the things that you're trying to get out of entertainment or trying to get out of these distractions, you would be getting out of achievement or out of just the progress. But then when you're always doing, so aim for something this year, stay off of stay off the social media, stay off all of these distractions, and then just stick to the things that are going to make you money. Right now, everyone has 3 valid questions in the trading space. Number 1, what is happening with the prop firms and where am I going to trade next? Because if these prop firms go under, then how am I supposed to have a place to make money? Valid question. We can have that conversation. Number 2, because this is serious, we really, everybody here should be thinking of what is the best option for you depending on where you're located. And this has always been true. I use prop firms as opposed to brokerages because regulated brokers have way too low of leverage. Hold on, give me 1 second. Oh, okay, I forgot to turn my phone off. All right. Yeah, regulated brokers, leverage too low. What else? Futures. Futures has always been an option, but I started trading CFDs. I think CFDs as an idea is my style. I just want to bet on price going whichever way. But futures is basically the same thing. As long as we can take a bet, we can go long and go short. We can hedge. It's lower leverage, but this is the game we're going to have to play. What is the future of the prop firms? I'm going to give you guys a few different scenarios here because I don't have any information. Okay, well, that's not true. I was going to say I don't have any information that isn't public, but that's just not true. Some folks are going to make it out of this, but we're not going to know who they are until this is all said and done, until the smoke settles. I think that the players that you guys see on the top 5 list, I think they're here to stay. I think FTMO is here to stay, not for US clients. I think prop firms for the United States, as of right now, is on pause. I think that US-based clients are going to get all their accounts frozen. I think if you're an existing trader on the platform, eventually the next 2-3 months, our account's going to get taken. Even though they said that existing clients are safe from the account closures. But the top 5 list will transition to something else. I just saw a couple new prop firms that came out that are strictly for the US, that are some kind of gamified system. We're building something very similar. We're building something that is not trying to hide as a prop firm, but instead it is an evaluation system. It's an evaluation system, and then the higher that you rank and the higher that you score, you do get compensated on that. And so that is a system that makes sense. Pushing it as a prop firm is where these guys kind of ran into some issues. Long story short, there's always a place to trade. We were trading, prop firms didn't exist 3 years ago. We're not prop firms as proprietary firms as an industry. I mean, these Forex prop firms that have come out. So we just go back to doing what we were doing before. The unregulated brokers, they all got kicked off of MetaTrader. And so now it's time to start thinking about either a futures prop firm, which might be able to exist here in the States, or I don't want to have to say it. Did not want to have to say it. Our good friends over at Oanda with the slippage and the spread and the fees. the commission, the swaps. Oh, and a 1 to 30 leverage. Oh, it's a party. Okay. You guys can tell I'm visibly, upset about what's happening with the prop firms. I think prop firms are a net positive for the trading industry. So I think that this is a shame that it's happening. And even though I've had my fair share of issues, let me just say this honestly, even though I've had my fair share of issues with a couple of the folks, and I mean, I've tried all of their platforms live on these streams. And so my opinion was always an honest take based on me trading these conditions live in front of you guys. And some of these guys, it was just shady conditions. However, I think that prop firms are a net positive, and I think any of these firms going under puts a lot of the other ones at risk. Nobody wants to go fund a $500 brokerage account when you can go get a $500 prop firm challenge. And I think everybody's starting to realize what it was like before prop firms. There was no access to large capital. And so, what if you did not have prop firms? What would you be doing? How would you grow a small account? Have a couple exit strategies in case this doesn't work out. Now, in all honesty here, if somebody doesn't fix this, because I see a lot of players that are moving very quickly into the next phase of whatever's going to come next. We're very likely to launch something once the regulatory environment is clear, which should be in the next month and a half. But we're trying to make sure the logistics are locked tight. We've been working on this for about a year and a half, which is basically either it's not a prop firm. It's an evaluation challenge. Like it's a game, basically. Live market conditions, live spreads, live commissions, and if you score, you get paid. That way, it does not masquerade as a financial services company. All right, we're going to talk about news. Pretty heavy news. This is just for the USD, by the way. I had to hide all the other currencies because it was taking up my entire screen. We'll talk about this. I want to give you guys a quick at the very end. I want to give you guys a 5-minute rundown of Jerome Powell's 60 Minutes interview. And I'm going to do a full, what are those videos called? A reaction video. So the reaction video is going to be me sharing the screen, fact checking Jay Powell. Because, he's basically just giving the country it's 60 minutes. This is like primetime TV. So he's just talking to the people at home, trying to not let people panic. He admitted that, yes, prices are still high, but he's seeing a good road. He did say one thing that caught my attention, which I will tell you at the very end of this stream. We're going to do news. We're going to go through trades and also look at, this is going to take 30 seconds. Look at this US30 trade called last week on the live streams. I took a buy position here at 38,700, took a loss, first trade on the stream. I don't know if you guys remember this. The second trade was at 38,587. That was the entry price. You guys can see it here in Discord. This is from Friday at noon Eastern time. So about 4 hours after market open. The double bottom. We got that first rejection. Beautiful. Then we got a real push afterwards. And then this is what it looks like now. Well, actually, we might as well go to the live chart. This is what it looks like now. So this was February 9th at noon. This was Friday. 38,700 was the entry price. TP1 was 38,643. There it is, 38,587. TP1 was right here, that got hit. TP2 was right here, got hit. And then the third take profit level is 38,760. Okay. Before we talk about Forex news and it was a great trade, great call out. I'm going to give myself that credit. Thank you guys so much. Please hold the applause, guys. Call. Now, I'm going to talk about two things. Right before I do Forex news, I do want to give context as to what's happening in the economy. I'm not going to go into economics. It's just more so markets. Markets are valued at all-time highs. A lot of famous investors are starting to go public, talking about how they're putting on short positions. And this happens every single time that there's a bubble or there's some kind of like massive run. NVIDIA, however you say that chip company's name, they're on an absolute tear. I think they made $18 billion in a year, and I think they're about to be valued at, let me not butcher this, but 1.7 trillion. All right. What the hell? But let's look at the year-to-date chart real quick. Actually, we have TradingView. Why? What am I doing? We have the best trading charting platform in the world right here. And I'm over here looking at Google. Um, okay, let's look at the 1 week chart. First off, that's just nuts. For a stock to go from exactly a year ago, well, almost a year ago, from $133 a share to 721. Okay, you know what? I can see why these guys are short selling. You know what? I can't even blame them. Let's be honest. I can't even blame them. Actually, I can. The trend is your friend until it ends, people. This is true across all markets. You want to buy stocks, individual stocks. First things first, all the same rules that you guys have learned here at Chart Addicts still apply. This is low. This is very high. You guys understand? Like it's investing gets a lot easier when you like day trading is harder than investing, especially if you're using price charts to find entries. Now, the first part of investing is doing the fundamental analysis, like is NVIDIA a valid company to buy? Okay. And then down here, the question is the market just completely wrong about the price? And clearly it was. Markets are made. This is a John Templeton quote. I ended up posting it on my story the other day. This is markets are made, bull markets are made in pessimism. I think that's how it goes. So bull markets are made in pessimism where nobody wants to buy it. This is where a lot of the pressure really starts. Bull markets get going because of, how am I butchering this quote? Long story short, markets start because of pessimism and they end because of euphoria. There's optimism right here and there's skepticism right here. Skepticism is like it hasn't reached the broader market. It really hasn't taken off, but it's starting to have that trajectory. Optimism is what happens when they're like, oh my God, NVIDIA is going to be the biggest company in the world. They're going to overtake, Taiwan and China and everybody for semiconductor and chip manufacturing. And we're going to bring chip manufacturing back home for the security risk. And that's where the optimism came in. And then euphoria is starting to hit. But the worst thing you can do is try to guess the top when the market is moving this aggressively. Another big reason I'm covering NVIDIA is because the NAS100 index is a composite index of the top 100 technology stocks in the country. Well, they're not all technology, but the top 10 names that control over 30% of the index, their technology, and NVIDIA is one of them. It's Amazon, Google, NVIDIA, Microsoft. So if NVIDIA is doing well, and by the way, yeah, do not try to short this. Once you see a turnaround, then it makes sense. But like whenever the market's getting ready to pull back or retrace, even the second leg, you will get a warning, right? Even here, before the market really pulled, like you will get a warning. If we go into some kind of coronavirus crash where the thing just dips like this, I get it. But do you guys understand what would have to happen in order for NVIDIA to do this? Someone would have to invent a new material, like from like a literally invent a new like, and then because the specific materials that are required to build these chips, NVIDIA has what I would say a massive competitive advantage and the first mover advantage, where they were able to get in first, get all the right materials, be able to build this in scale. If NVIDIA keeps going up, so does NASDAQ. If Apple keeps going up, so does NASDAQ. Well, okay, when did I mark this up? I don't think I've touched this since 2022. Okay, good stuff. Every once in a while, you go back to some of your old charts and you just see what you got. Close. Okay. Highs, lows. I mean, if Apple comes down for a pullback, we could see a pullback on NASDAQ. 188 a share. I thought this was the market cap. Okay, I guess not. I'm not gonna put that on. I think Apple can break through. They had a great earnings release. They just had a bunch of hype with that Vision Pro that you guys see all over social media that no one's actually gonna. Is anybody here? Would you guys wear that thing, the Vision Pro? Also, happy Sunday, everybody on YouTube. Make sure you guys drop a like real quick. Appreciate you guys hopping on. I'm running on low sleep. Okay, so I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm acting a little bit different, but I'm also honestly I have more energy than I do on a normal day. So I don't know what this phenomenon is. Might have to do the weekly no sleep. We'll see. All right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending this. Do not do this. Consult whatever the thing. You know what I'm saying? You guys know the thing. Just don't. Hey, I'm just a guy. All right. He said, nope, waiting for a more light device. Yeah, but I look like wearing a Walkman on my face. Some of you guys are too young to even know what a Walkman is. Some of you are young, but you're cultured and you know what a Walkman is. All right. It's the OG, right? It's the like the OG. Like
They always said there was no skip, bro. But that thing skipped.
all right, that's before my time. Chill. I heard about it. I was born in 96, buddy. Don't fucking put me. I was burning CDs in fucking middle school. All right. Let's chill. Oh shit. The yellow Walkmans, that's crazy. I'm trying to find the old. Man, this is too much. Okay, look, you guys remember the old phones that they used to have in the cars, like when portable phones first came out? The big clunky. This is basically what those headsets look like to me. Now, I have heard some decent reviews, but like, bro, for what? Now I can see two big use cases. We're gonna get into the stream here in a second, but let me get this rant off. I can see two good use cases. Number one is gaming, obviously because gamers are already immersed in whatever they're playing. You ever tried to call somebody's name when they're playing a video game? Yeah, they're already in the fucking headset. All right, so might as well fucking do the whole thing, go the whole route, have some fun. And I also think sports, right? You guys heard my Super Bowl rant. With that being said, if I was to watch a UFC fight and I could put on the goggles and I could end up on the front seat watching the fight on the front row in high definition with one of their obviously like one of those crazy cameras they have at the UFC, that's a use case I could see going crazy. All right. Sometimes you don't want to go to the game. Sometimes the traffic it's a long week. I want to be in the game. I don't want to just watch it on the TV. I want to be in there, but I ain't trying to go and leave my house. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Convenience. Everything else, like the work and the productivity, you think you're Tony Stark and shit. You're not Tony Stark. Put the goofy glasses down and get to work. All right. That's my take on the VR glasses. If you got them, you like them, more power to you. You got way too much time on your hands. Everybody else, let's get to the show. All right. Put a one in the chat if you guys are ready to, get into the trading call. I'm just, somebody's got to reel this in. Where's Golly? I need my handlers. This is crazy. Can't believe you guys really let me come out here like this. I used to have them heavy and huge phones with 30 minutes of battery life. Wow. 30 minutes of battery life. That means better than I expected. 100% doesn't make me more money. It could, but at what cost? All right. First, look in the mirror, right? At the cost, the dignity. That's what we're going to sacrifice for the productivity. People in America, people in America sacrifice everything for convenience and productivity and efficiency. They'll sacrifice privacy for it. That's crazy. Now you're gonna sacrifice looking like a dweeb with those goggles on for the productivity? Just say that you're gaming, bro. Even if you're working, bro, I walk in and you're working on those. Just tell me you're playing a video game, right? What are you doing working with? Did you know that Bezos built Amazon without those goggles? All right, let's get to the call. Pretty tough week. We got core CPI and CPI. This is obviously everybody's main focus. The big question is there going to be a rate cut in May? We've already ruled out the possibility of a rate cut in March. I told you guys I'm going to do a recap of the 60 Minutes interview that Jerome Powell just did. Obviously, it's like a fluff piece because you're going to sit there on prime television in front of, mom and pops and all across America and be like, shit's on fire. No, no. He definitely told everybody that things are better than they seemed and that he gets it. Price of eggs are expensive, but we're getting them down. Well, thanks, Jay Powell. But I'm going to do a full breakdown of that video. Keep an eye out for that tomorrow. CPI is going to be the number one focus because in that 60 minutes interview, Jerome Powell mentioned the possibility of a May rate cut, even if, get this, the possibility of a May rate cut, even if inflation data comes out a little hotter than expected. What does that mean? The Fed is expecting inflation to come out a little hotter than expected. The Federal Reserve has access to all of the best data in the country. They can see the inflation reports. They know what's about to happen. And so I think that they were bracing the market for potentially not, I'm not talking about CPI, shifting back up. I'm just talking about the rate that that is going down starts to slow. I think they'll still do a rate cut in May. And that's why the market is so aggressively bullish. They're like, all right, even if inflation goes back up a little bit, they're not gonna raise rates. They're still gonna cut. Okay, party's on. Everyone start buying stocks. The risk sentiment is back in play. MMB Fire Flame says blaze up. What are we talking about right now? He said blaze up for what? The sleep? Happy Sunday. Let's have a great week. Right back at you, Lambeezy. Let's check US30. Let's check US30. You got it. But let's do something first. Finish off this with CPI news. So long story short, if CPI comes out better than expected, so meaning these numbers are lower, you want low CPI. If the actual numbers are lower than the forecast, then markets are going to fly aggressively. If they come out exactly the same as the forecast, there's a relief in the markets, there's no surprises, and because that was the expectation, markets tend to rally because of the relief. And if these numbers come out higher than expected, so inflation is worse, if the numbers come out higher than expected, NASDAQ will have a temporary dip. I said temporary, okay? Short-term bearish. Who says they don't readjust the numbers again a month later? They're going to keep doing it, but it doesn't matter because they're making decisions on these numbers. If I had an aggregator of data machine and I can go take random samples, like CPI is stupid. This is a sample. This is a survey from a sample size. Like PCE, I think PCE is a much better measure, but I also feel like the major investment houses have some kind of analytics platform that has all this data in one place. And they know exactly what the price of eggs and all the consumer goods, what are the consumer goods that are being bought the most often? What are these cyclical staples? Okay, what has their price, how much has their price increased year over year? Let's go through the past 5 years. Okay, wow, the past 2 years are not looking good for Americans. So when we talk about transportation, when we talk about housing, when we talk about, I'm not going to go into like consumer spending, but really just talking about the basics and grow and food. So it's food, housing, transportation, things like that. All of those prices have gone up. Now, whenever they point to the CPI number, they're kind of claiming that this basket of goods is going down. The overall, like the things that people really aren't buying on a day-by-day basis. So like the actual groceries that people are buying are still as expensive. The haircuts still as expensive. Gas prices still exactly where they are. They might go up a little bit. And so this is my big risk is an uptick in oil means an uptick in inflation, and that's going to cause a little bit of trouble for the Fed. By a little, I mean a lot of trouble for the Fed. We're going to keep an eye on this. I'll be live streaming at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday. You guys know me. You guys know the drill. Core retail sales, big sentiment kind of measure right here shows us if people are still spending. So this is last month's data, see how the year started off. First print of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So core retail sales and then retail sales. Core excludes automobiles. All right, the price of automobiles fluctuates too much, so they don't count it in this data. If you really, really look in here, there's probably a bunch of stuff that you should take out too. This is just economists. Who made this stuff? Who created these? Right? It's like the Bureau of Labor Statistics has one of them. And then the Bureau of Economic Research has another one. And then the Fed releases one of them. And then the Bureau of Housing. And all of them are like either a sentiment survey of some random sample size, or they're just taking a basket of goods that are not relevant to what Americans are actually doing. Huh. Might have to, you know, this is why I need a Bloomberg terminal, get access to some much better data straight from the sources. All right, not a big deal here. Let me see. The Bahamas conference in Nassau. Can we just talk about how the Bahamas is kind of under scrutiny right now because FTX literally ran the world's largest scheme out of the Bahamas as a money laundering hub, using the island for personal gain for financial reasons? Because the US regulators got in there and told them that this is sketchy behavior. You guys can't allow this to go on. And then they go and deliver the Fed is going to deliver the dollar's international role. Why would we be talking about the dollar's international role in Nassau? Something, it's just me. Something about this don't really add up. It's irrelevant to markets, but isn't that curious to you guys? Why is the Fed chairman going to Bahamas and Nassau? Let me show you guys what Nassau is. Almost had a friend talk me into taking a boat down there, a personal boat. I was like, bro, man, I value my life, man. Stop fucking around. But it's a beautiful place. It's in the Bahamas, long story short. Gorgeous. All right. Why are we talking about the dollar's international dominance at the Bahamas? I don't know. What's your guys' guess? Okay, take the what am I gonna say? Take the conspiracy theory hat off. Give me a couple of good guesses. What on earth could be a good reason? This is Check Gold Longs. Good evening. Yeah, let me get to the charts here before some people start to lose track. All right. NASDAQ hyper extended, like a bad shoulder. A lot of people are going to try to short because the feeling of, oh, the markets can't keep going up forever starts to weigh in. And the reality is, when the market's in a bubble, like right now we have the AI bubble, and of course, everyone's seeing the next phase of this technology revolution, and they realize that chips are going to be one of the most important components, at least right now. And so I think a lot of people are kind of uneasy, kind of thinking this could be the high in the turnaround, whatever. Unless there's okay, look, if CPI news comes out with a massive hit, meaning the numbers are like, considerably above the forecast, I could see a real move below these lows. Here's my two options, just so I can break this down from scratch. Okay, so we're at all-time highs. What that means is typically you'll have historical data on the left to reference as sort of like a guide point. Where am I in proximity to the previous high? Like from here to here. Oh, okay, I'm a 50% above the previous high. So we have these anchor points in the market, the previous structural highs and lows, to be able to help guide this. So when we're looking at the historical data on the left, we're able to use this, context. So every time markets get here, seller stepped in. When the market got here again at the same exact price, seller step in. Markets are a creature. The market is a creature of habit. Now that we've broken out and we're in new territory and all-time highs, a lot of people get confused as to how to trade this. Well, I'll give you guys a reference. Uh, Literally 3 weeks ago, we were doing the same exact thing, and then towards the highs, and it's been happening since this impulse, this impulse, this impulse. Now, the higher the market goes, the more likely we are to start hitting a potential pullback. And so if you've been making money in the bull trend, don't give it back forcing trades on the impulses. I'm not saying don't take trades. There's plenty of opportunity. Use proper risk management. Figure out how much you've made in the bull trend so far. And just ask yourself, how much am I really willing to give back trying to guess the shorts with no confirmations? I would, what I'm personally doing is I'd much rather see the correction and then it'll probably be right here, and then go for the longs, as opposed to trying to look for the shorts. Trade with the trend. The trend is your friend. Okay, so then when I come down here to the smaller time frames, we have local support that is forming off this wick. This is actually the previous -27 Fibonacci extension level. So price is wedged in between the -61 and the I guess the -61 and the -1.2, the -27. I'm sorry, guys. Long 2 days. We're getting it. Price is stuck here. If it wants to go bullish, I'm going to give you guys some serious sauce because I'm honestly getting tired. Okay. Sideways, if it's going to go bullish, down first, then up. If it's going to go bearish, up first, double top, then down. CA members, obviously we're going to cover this, but you guys know the drill. There's a top of a range and a bottom of a range. And then whenever you have a clearly defined range like this, you have a sell up here and a buy down here. Now, trade with the trend. So if the market comes up here, it's like, okay, well, there's a buy and a sell. It's supply and demand. So both trades are created equal. I can sell the top and buy the bottom. No, sells are riskier because you're betting against this existing momentum. You're betting that the market won't keep doing what it's been doing for this whole time, which is stupid. Now, can retracements happen? Of course. But if you're going to short, it's going to have to be from the top of the range. If you do short here, proper risk management is key. And for myself personally, because my own personal trading is, this is, I'm making my own decisions on my accounts. What I will do is wait for the longs and only take the longs. And ideally, we're going to get a break of this low first before we continue long. Roy, what's the exact price? I got you. Chill. 17,905. That was quick, ain't it? Let me put up this here, 17,905. We'll do 06. And of course, set the alert because I gotta know. Move this up just slight. Okay. So we're at all-time highs. I guess you could technically take an 88.6 short at the highs, but personally, I'm waiting for the pullback on longs. All right. US30, we already covered briefly. The next target is a retest of 38,690. And then the target inside this range, 38,760. All right. I would like to see price make it back up to this area, like at least up to these highs right here, which is the yellow zone. 38,760. I think that would be perfect. All right. Is there a chance we get a second pullback? The only way that I would go along this, because I understand there's a minor support level right here. I get it. If the market forms the double bottom, I would be inclined to take this trade. But the best trade on the board right now, we'll talk about this, absolute best trade on the board is that swift double bottom 38,570. Houston, we have a problem. So double bottom 38,575. We'll see you guys this week. Big money to be made. If the market just shoots up with one candle and just ends up here, it is what it is. That's the trade that was called. And then we would just look for the inverted head and shoulders in that case. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns about US30? I got the double bottom right here at 38,630. And then, of course, 38,587. Put a 1 in the chat if we're good on US30. Okay, good stuff. CA members are good. Awesome. Yeah, we're launching the we're launching the 88.6 boys and 88 in the 88.6 girls collection March 1st. We have a wait list up on Instagram. Make sure you guys go check that out. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram, shoot us a quick follow. If you don't follow us on Twitter, shoot us a quick follow. Roy, what is your social media handle names? It's got to be so confusing. You have so many different platforms. It must be hard to remember the name of all of them. Wrong. We own at ChartAddicts on every platform. So it can't get easier. Actually, it can. If we could get... Nope, that can't get easier. There it is. I was asked for gold. Anybody else have any other pairs? I don't think anything has changed on gold in my view. Wow, that retest was pretty freaking close. I'm seeing a move down to 1998, like I've been saying for 3 weeks. And then at 1998, well, first I'm going to wait for the liquidity grab because, baby pips traders going to be locked in right here. Clear consolidation. Oh, this is it, mom. I'm rich. I'm going to buy you a house. Whoa, where's my liquidity? Oh, there it is. So 1998, that's where my target is for gold. If it doesn't get there and just starts to form a floor here, right, or a floor here, then I will reassess the situation. As it's looking right now with the bearish impulse, the pullback with a beautiful wick, and then what appears to be the next impulsive move down, I'm going to wait my turn. I'm going to wait for this thing to get to 1998. I don't trade gold. I don't know why I'm saying this in the first person tense, as if I'm going to take this trade. I'm not, right? I know that US30 was something I told you guys I only trade NASDAQ. US30 trades came up, two of them. I took the trades. Gold is not one of those. I've lost more money on gold than any other pair in my trading career. And I think in 2020, maybe late 2020, early 2021, I quit trading gold forever. Not because we can't see what's happening, because clearly, we're calling the right trades, except this one. Clearly, we're calling the right trades, but you don't have to take every trade that you analyze. What's your take on the BTC push up, Roy? If firms are snubbing U.S. traders, bro, what's it called? You keep spamming the chat, bro. I'm gonna kick you off. I'm gonna kick you off of here. What about U.S. firms? They seem to be unfazed. But what do you want them to walk outside with their hair on fire? Say, prop firms are done. Prop firms, you're all gonna be broke. What do you want them to do? But these guys are building. They're in the back end cooking it up. And guess what? That's business. And guess what? Not everyone's gonna survive. Some will go under. And that is the name of the game. Because there's going to be accountability, there's going to be better conditions, there's going to be better incentives for traders on the other side of this. If the futures firms take over and everyone has a chance to redo from scratch, they're going to make it way more expensive. Like the prop firms, if they do relaunch and they kind of figure out a way around this, it's going to get very expensive. I feel a little responsible for you getting back on the US30 train. Well, to be honest, look, yeah, I've had worse influences as friends, right? So you get me to take a US30 trade and I make some money. Uh, God bless you. All right. At least you're not getting me to do, I don't know, fucking crack or something, right? Good influence is getting me to take a US30 trade because you're competent in US30. It's not like we're out here guessing. Did I look at the trade before I sent it, even though you just told me, yo, I'm buying it, and I just sent it? I mean, I don't know, right? No one will know. But Bryce, that's how much faith I have in you and Jacob and Omar. A handful of people, if you send me a trade that I'm gonna take. Even some of the ChartAddicts members, I've been seeing you guys send markups. That's why I love when you guys send your markups, because I'll just get ideas. I'm like, wow, I don't think it's that trade that we're watching. I actually think it's the one that's right below it. You guys will sometimes send over a chart. I'm like, dude, I think we're the liquidity. And so I go back and I adjust my chart and I'm like, okay. So it's a third person perspective kind of deal. Sometimes when you're too close to the painting, you can't really appreciate the detail. Huh? Okay. We did gold, we did US30, we did NASDAQ. NASDAQ, what is this? 5 minute beautiful inverse head and shoulders. 88.6 is sitting right there. The scalper in me just wants to get started, but we got rules. The scalper in me just wants to get started already. Oh my God. Why do I have so many fibs here? Okay. Yeah. I'd be very careful with this one. Like, this is why I don't trade against the trend. I don't want to short. I'm just kind of looking at this idea right here. I think we could see this, but for me personally, my buy entry is right here. It's 1709 area. This is where I'll be looking tomorrow for longs. For the shorts, it's risky because we're already on a bullish trend. We've already made the retracement. We already have the liquidity grab. Now we're creating an inverted head and shoulders. So we're definitely headed up to the top of the range here. But because of how aggressive the market is, there's a very good chance we break these highs too. Okay, so that's why I'm saying be mindful here. I mean, when I say be mindful or be careful, we're fucking trading. At the end of the day, you can't be careful. You're still putting money at risk. When I say be careful or be mindful, is be mindful about what you're actually doing. If you're risking 2% of your account and you're going to panic at the first side of drawdown, don't do it. Y'all get me? So over here, when I say be mindful because we're trading against the trend and the market has not given us a clear sign of a reversal, we're trading against a 100-mile-an-hour train. Lower your risk. Make sure you keep risk management as the top priority and scale in. Again, just one at the 88. Boom. One at the previous high. It goes up a little bit and comes back in. Third one here. Price moves down to TP1. You close partials by taking off the first two positions and you leave the better one. That is, that's like if you guys really want to watch the Super Bowl, this is what they should be doing. That was play. I felt like Bill Belichick for a second. So this is cool, but not as cool as waiting for the longs. Well, I mean, waiting is not cool. I don't know. Look, making money is cool, but waiting, not fun. I'm gonna head down to the smaller time frame, make sure I have my levels drawn correctly here. Get rid of this. Jerome Powell looked dead in the camera. Yo, he looked dead in the camera and said, I know the price of eggs are getting more expensive, but inflation has been trending lower on a month-by-month basis. Bro, is that English to most people? The people watching at home on primetime television, they're like, oh, he lost me at eggs are expensive. Yeah, you're right. Fix it. That's the way it's got to go. Hey guys, show some love. Click that like button. It's all good. I'm about to head out of here in a sec. Roy, if firms are snubbing US traders, what about US firms? Well, you ask me one more time, I'm going to cook your life. All right, relax. Now, what is going to happen to US firms is most of them will stop accepting US clients in the next week. So if you're planning on buying a challenge or you're about to buy a challenge or whatever it is, if you just bought a challenge and haven't started, just try to get your money back. Just put your cash on the sideline for now. I talked to a trader from Louisiana. They banned, I think, 5 to 6 states in America randomly. You weren't allowed to trade FTMO. I have no idea why. I don't know. She told me that even though they said existing accounts would not be touched, 3 months later her account got snagged. So even though we got active accounts, at any given moment, they're going to either migrate over to a new system, trades get closed out, there's a ton of damage, or, the worst case scenario. How about US oil? I covered US oil. Oh no, that wasn't on this call. Yo, I got to get my ass to sleep. Whoever let me get out here without any type of guide, I feel like Joe Biden right now. 2 days without sleep, they got me out here propped up. They got me out here like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I watched the Putin interview. I can't believe no one's talking about it. You got to head over to Twitter. It was all the rave. No one's talking about it because the mainstream media is scared of the truth, in case anybody hasn't noticed. But shout out to Elon for, buying one of the only true free speech platforms. And so everybody there wasn't scared to hear the truth and make up their own opinion. And that's exactly what happened. Roy, are you saying that oil prices are about to balloon? We're about to end the stream, but I think this is a perfect time to explain something that is very, very timely and relevant. This is Russia, okay? Russia gets all their money from oil. They get their money, imagine this is rubles, this is not dollars, this is rubles, and they get it from barrels and barrels of oil that they can sell. Now, there are four main, I want to say the largest petroleum producers in the world. Russia is among them, United States is among them, Saudi Arabia is among them. And if you look at the difference between all the different players in this game, Saudi Arabia is the lowest cost producer of oil for about $7 a barrel. I think Russia is around 17. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's about 17 to 20. to refine it. And then I think the United States, it costs us $21 to $23 a barrel to manufacture one barrel or to refine 1 barrel of crude. That's why the United States pumps more oil out of the ground every year than we consume, but we prefer to sell it because, you know, for us, it's very expensive. And then we can go buy cheap oil. All right, so we can sell this to countries that don't really have access to oil. They'll pay whatever. And then we can buy it for the low as long as Saudi Arabia and us are friends, because sometimes it doesn't really work like that. Okay, so Russia, they get their money from oil. America saw the price of oil skyrocketing. What this means is that us at the pump, the refiners, the open market was bidding up the price of oil, which is significantly impacting Russia's economy positively. They got rich. We made Putin rich. The whole world funded Putin's war, because as soon as you created the shock, the pipelines between East Europe and West Europe, there was some disruptions. There was supply chain disruptions between trade. And now all of a sudden the price of gas is going up because it's winter. The winter is coming around the corner. And so everybody in Europe is paying these high energy costs. And who are they paying it to? Russia. Okay, so Joe Biden's like, I got it. I know exactly what we got to do. They're like, what, Mr. President? Should we give the Donbass region back to Russia and just literally be done with this whole war and stop funding them with big money? Joe Biden says, no. I'm going to gut half of the strategic petroleum reserves, our safety deposit box, our piggy bank of oil for an emergency, a world war, a pandemic. That's our piggy bank. And he cut it in half just to bring the price of oil down, to bring inflation down so that people don't panic, and also it has some geopolitical impacts too, because Russia gets hit in the process. So what I was seeing is a move back up in oil. I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong here. We might end up breaking through, but I love the double bottom. I love the fact that we're just holding this $70 a barrel support. And even though the market is trying to break through, that that $70 a barrel seems to be the fair price for US oil. So US oil, obviously the value of the dollar is based off of the petrodollar system, which means the majority of oil in the world is transacted or is priced in US dollars. And so very correlated with the DXY. I see the double bottom. We'll see how this goes. All right. Do we have any questions, comments concerning that I'm still holding my oil trade? Walter, when did you enter? I was not aware of this. Magnetized price. The magnet shows up everywhere. I've had this magnet up since, what is this? I've had this magnet up since the beginning of the year. I did this analysis like early in the year. The magnet is the magnet. When I said this about the dollar, everybody called me stupid. When I had the magnets up for the dollar, by the way, dollar kind of looks like it's ready for a pullback here. We've already had 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at 5 waves. I think we're just due for a nice correction tomorrow before we keep going. But when I had the magnet and I had all these levels hit perfect, right here, boom, right here, that level, 105.679. By the time this thing makes it up, we will play around this level. And then hit to the next one. You guys get the drill. So long story short, DXY due for a bit retracement, but still bullish because obviously, look at it. Okay, right here, and on a smaller time frame perspective, we did break this local high, which shows that buyers are in control. But there's a second piece to whenever the market breaks that high, it's that higher low. And I kind of want to see this liquidity get taken again to complete the inverted head and shoulders. Big fan of inverted head and shoulders and triple bottoms. Ladies and gents, tomorrow morning, I'll catch you guys alive. I got to get some sleep. Hope you guys have an incredible week. Hope last week was good, but take some lessons away. Take about 5 minutes after this call by yourself, and then write down all the things that potentially got in your way last week. Not potentially, that actually got in your way. Write some things that you actually did right so you can double down on those. That is, I feel like the most helpful thing you can do to make progress is instead of just doing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, take a second and slow down and then look at the results from last week. I don't mean open up MetaTrader. Just look at the trade results on. Well, I mean, you got to look up the MetaTrader. I was really just thinking back to the experience of taking the trades and whether you remember it. But I guess it'd be a priority to check those results. So do that. Take a few minutes. It'll change your life. Do I have any idea what happens to open funded accounts? Any inside info? I don't have an inside info, but like I just said, they are telling people that existing accounts don't get touched, but I've spoken to more than enough traders that have told me that they were in a banned state or in a banned country, and their existing account got taken down, not right away, but 2, 3 months later. Denied a payout too. Probably wait till you have a big payout. Try to hit you with that. Facts. I'm done with gold losing. I'm sticking with NAS. Best thing I've done for my career. Welcome to the club. From what asset did you make the most profits from? NAS100, easily. It's actually tied between this and Euro USD. I had some banger Euro USD trades. 2021. Okay, so I had interviewed the I didn't even interview him for a podcast. I just talked to him. It was Brent Johnson. Why am I spacing on his name? Brent Johnson from the dollar milkshake theory. And he had explained the dollar milkshake theory to the, fullest detail. And basically what I realized was post-pandemic, even though we printed a lot of money, the dollar wasn't going to, like the dollar could go bullish. Normally when you print a lot of a currency, it's supposed to get devalued. This did not happen. Why? Because the dollar is the most sought after currency in the world. Everybody else has their local, small time currency that's not globally recognized, but you back it with dollars in your central bank. He said, any refunds in that case? I would try. He says, Ken who? You mean the refunds? I would try my best to do the refunds before it's too late. Long story short, I made a lot of money on this drop in 2021. And then in 2022, I made money, but then the second half of the year, I started to kind of guess longs. I started to look at historical data too much. I started looking for potential support areas, and I was guessing a little bit too much on the lows. When the market finally recovered, I believe I missed the first leg. I was able to capitalize on this range, but this was the most recent trade I was supposed to take, and I missed my shot. Had it all marked up. A couple days after New Year's, everything was marked off, and did not take the trade. 886 for the win. It's just, yeah. TP2 just hit. If you guys know the mastery course strategy, you guys understand how that's looking there. So Euro USD is doing its thing. USD JPY coming up to the top of the range here. Okay. Almost there. Potential turnaround point of 150.5. 150.5. And then we'll just have a little bit of a retracement. I'm assuming this thing's going to go like this. A little slight break of the highs. Come back in. If it closes back above the 88 or back under the 88.6, we sell. And if it stays above, then we go long. Ladies, gents, I'm half asleep. I gotta go. We good? Everybody, live tomorrow morning. Bring all your questions. If I skipped anything, it's your fault for asking me when I'm asleep. Yeah, so that's on you. Personal responsibility. On a real note, remember what it takes to be a successful trader on your way out. Have a trading plan that is clear and concise and easy to repeat. Very simple, 4 or 5 steps. Can't forget it. Number 2, proper risk management. And number 3, you can say discipline, but discipline is just doing something over and over again. How do you do that? I would say emotional maturity, right? It's the maturity to tell yourself, fuck whatever this thing is going on right now, feelings, whatever else. Something needs to get done. All right, ladies and gents, catch you tomorrow morning. Take it easy. It says get a Reuters terminal. You mean a Bloomberg? 30K a year? Miss me with that. I got friends all over the hedge fund space, bro. I'd fly over to New York and hang out at their office. I'd get more research done in one day than you can imagine, bro. I used to work on a Bloomberg terminal. It's not like it ain't like that. Actually, no, it is like that. That's a complete lie. It's definitely a cheat code. Borderline insider trading. Absolutely nuts. Definitely a massive, massive advantage. Can't live without it. All right, that was called sarcasm. If you can't tell, take it easy. Peace.